plane that this country is predicated on. Their families, like the Waltons who own Walmart, like the Vanderbilts, these families who built their financial fortune on the backs of Black people. We have no generational wealth, so we want to know that we matter. We want to know that you see us for our contributions to this nation. But if there was another level of conscious existence for us, wouldn't we just say, like in any other relationship, fuck it, I could do bad by myself? Is that a weird thought? Because I think that we're all having these conversations, but I don't think that we are having real conversations amongst each other. And I want to be able to ask, are we going about this the wrong way? Should we be even saying, hey, see me and I matter? Or should we be saying, fuck you? Work at your own goddamn place of business. Learn to use your own two hands to make your money. Learn to rely on the wealth of your own culture in order to be entertained. Learn to stand on the backs of your own people in order to be entertained by sports. Learn. We're going to go over here and do our thing. No longer are we going to give you our backs, our hands, our minds, our bodies for you to gain from and for you to disrespect. We're not going to do it anymore. There's enough wealth amongst us that we are going to figure our shit out. We're going to build little communities and we're going to do this shit for our goddamn selves. Is it crazy for me to be asking this? Because I feel like sometimes I watch the TV and I'm like, look at us. Begging to be loved, begging to be recognized. And I know we're not begging. We live in this country, but I've been watching us ask to matter in this country for 40 something years, and my parents before me for 40 something years, and their parents before them. I mean, it's almost like being in a relationship and seeing that you're never going to be chosen, yet still going to the source to say, but see me. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I lovingly call the person that I'm talking to, well, I guess it's not lovingly, but I refer to him as a Karen. Because I believe that there's so many cisgendered Black men who have the ability to come across as a Karen within our community. Shout out to Kelly Rowland and to many other celebrities who are not just fighting the fight that Black lives matter, but Black trans lives matter and Black gay lives matter. And it is still wowing to me that, even that has to be explained. Even that has to be within our community, Like, for a lot of people, the fight is financial. And for a lot of people, the fight is psychological. It's mental. It's social. It's about fair treatment. It's not even about wanting to have the money. I know for a lot of cisgendered Black men, this fight is about money. I want to be able to be considered for this. And, it's not fair when you guys do this, whatever. But the fight is so much more than just financial, Speaking of financial, did you hear that New York and Company is also closing their doors? They were just hiring people just the other day. Yes, New York and Company is, after many years, closing their doors and filing for bankruptcy. What a time. That's all I can say. Publix. Now, if you are from South Florida, if you're from Florida, if you are from the South, you know Publix, right? Publix makes some of the best fried chicken that you have ever had in your black ass life. Publix fried chicken, and shout out to my cousins out there in South Florida, but Publix has some of the best fried chicken that I've ever had. And they are forbidding their employees from wearing Black Lives Matter anything at work. So apparently they had a problem with employees wearing a Black Lives Matter face mask at work, much in the way that Starbucks also forbid their employees to wear any Black Lives Matter regalia. Well, at any rate, I'm surprised. Not black ass Publix. Y'all know how to fry some chicken, but y'all also know how to turn away some blacks. Not surprising, though. Not surprising at all. Listen, many of you think Florida is, this super trendy place. It's Orlando, or it is Disney World, or it is South Beach. But Florida is the South. And they are just, probably A, more boring racists, or B, more rich racists. However you'd like to swing the pendulum, but Florida is the South, okay? Speaking of the South and speaking of Florida, shout out to the city girls. Listen, is it me, or are we getting the feeling that people are thinking that outside is opening up, the COVID is gone? So let me release some music. Wow, the girls threw music at us this weekend. Honey, the music don't stop. All right, between Chloe and Halle, the city girls, Justine Skye, Beyonce, we've just had nothing but great music being thrown our way. And shout out again to the city girls. Now, this is the same city girls whose Young Miami was caught, if you recall. She had a little kerfuffle not too long ago, mentioning that if her son were to exhibit gay behavior, I don't know if she would beat it out of him or something like that. So that always is kind of in the forefront of my mind, because there is one track on the album called Skit, and she has a man who I don't want to say is gay because I don't know, but there is a man who is going off about the city girls, saying, yes, city girl, yes, you bitches could never go to fucking jail and come out and have a fucking baby, and city girl, I'm a fucking city girl, period. Okay. And it's so funny how, full circle again, this is why we have to examine ourselves. Because no shade, I listened to the City Girl album at least 3 times. I went for a 3.5 mile run yesterday. I listened to it. I went to attempt to go hang out with my cousin yesterday. I listened to it again. Took a drive, listened to it again. And in my mind, I still felt the sting of the homophobia, that existed from her comment. But then I'm listening to this skit, and I'm listening to how, obviously this man who's speaking in an effeminate tone, I don't want to assume that he is part of the alphabet community, but what I will say is that he's giving off a vibe, and you're about to profit from that. So you have a problem with your son being a particular way, but you don't have a problem with using somebody else's son to profit. Okay, cool. So this is why I say that what we're seeing, it's not happening to us. This racism, this culture of intolerance, it's not happening to us.
we're seeing it the way that we're seeing it, and we want to believe that it's just happening to us. But we exhibit some of that intolerance, and until we learn as individuals to stop wielding the sword of intolerance around, it's a weapon against a weapon. It's a weapon against a weapon. You know, and the only reason why I'm using what happened with Young Miami and that situation is because it just came first to my mind as we're talking about the new City Girl album. And as we're talking about what we're experiencing now on the front of just being Black people and saying, you know, not just Black Lives Matter, but all Black Lives Matter. Even if your son is gay. You know what I'm saying? So just something to think about. And actually, as we're talking about Young Miami, it seems as though she lost her son's father this week. Now, details haven't been, at least to my knowledge, details haven't come out as to how her son's father died or passed away, but she did release via iOS statement on her Instagram that, you know, she lost her son's father and he was a great guy, yada, yada, yada. So, you know, rest in peace to him, and just prayers and light surrounding her, because that can't be easy as we celebrate Father's Day, to have to explain to your kid what's going on, you know. For those of you, because I know, like, I'm assuming that everybody knows which is who in the City Girls. And so Caresha is the one that went to jail, young JT, right? Caresha is the one that went to jail, right? Young JT. Okay. And then JT. And then Young Miami is the one who just had the daughter, little Summer. And she also has a son. Okay. And they are very open about getting their bodies done. I mean, I'm seeing outside open up, and it is very clear that some of you girls use this time very wisely. You went and got your bodies did. Good on you, girl. Good on you. Let's see, what else? So yeah, we were talking about new music. I listened to a little bit of Justine Skye's album. It was okay. I listened to Chloe and Halle's album. I thought it was a vibe. Beyonce's new song, Black Parade, which she dropped on us, I believe, Friday night, if I'm not mistaken. Black Parade, new song by the Queen. And she put out a statement in part that read, "Happy Juneteenth. Being Black is your activism. Black excellence is a form of protest. Black joy is your right. Black Parade," which is the title of the song, benefits Be Good's Black Business Impact Fund, administered by the National Urban League to support Black-owned small businesses in need. So thank you so much for that, Miss Beyonce, and thank you to Tamika D. Mallory, who Beyonce name drops in the song. If you're not sure about who Tamika D. Mallory is, she is an activist. She is a political gladiator, and she is by and large one of the greatest activists of our time. So if you're not sure about who she is, look her up. So has anyone, first of all, let me backtrack. What happened with K. Michelle and Tamar? Because, you know, K. Michelle almost always is guaranteed to take it just a scotch bit too far, isn't she? It's almost like she just can't even help it. She just will take it too far. I love K. Michelle. I'm a huge K. Michelle fan. Anyone want to buy a heart, or anyone have a heart, or something like that, that album, I think is one of the best albums. I just think that her lack of self-control often overshadows any creativity and artistry that she could have. And isn't that a shame? Don't you know people like that? People who just, you're doing too much. You know what I mean? Like, you do too much, honey. You do too much.